Well, Three Hands Stephen, I'm so happy to do this set from my home. For KBVR TV. One, two, 1, 2. Check. Test. 1, 2. This is a test. It's only a test. I've got to test this instrument. This is a test of your emergency broadcast system. In case of real emergency, do we know what to do? This is not business. This is not business as usual. It's a test. Leave the class. Wear a mask. In case of emergency, break glass. This is a test. If you can, stay home. Have you been tested? Shalom. One, two. Uno, dos. 1, 2. Uno, dos. Test.
So why don't you start by just quickly introducing yourself?
Okay. All right. Well, I'm Stephen Cohen, also known, my performing name is Three Hands Stephen. And I've I've been around a long time doing music and art, and I'm a performer, a recording artist, and also a visual artist. And I put all those things together in my work.
All right. Where did the name Three Hand Steven originate from?
That came from a couple of things. Mainly, when I was younger, I went back to school at University of Oregon, and I walked into the metalsmithing and jewelry class. I was studying art, and I took to that. I started making pins and stuff right away. And the first thing I made was a three-handed pin with three hands on it. So that's kind of the beginning of it. It's also because I play a lot of instruments now, do a lot of stuff, so I need three hands to do everything. So those are the two reasons. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Turn the signs, close the blinds, lock the door. Count the till, clean the grill, sweep and mop the floor. Put all the receipts in a drawer. Put the dry goods in the bins. Put the wet goods in the walk-ins. Clean the ovens and the countertops and the silver and the pans and pots. Turn off the dishwashing machine. After you get everything, restaurant clean. Prepare a statement for the bank. Put the money in the safe. Say goodnight to the help. Thank you. You don't need their help anymore. Take off your restaurant clothes, move across the floor. There's no restaurant. There's no restaurant. There's no restaurant. There's no restaurant anymore. Count the till, clean the grill, sweep and mop the floor. Change the signs, shut the blinds, put a padlock, put a padlock, put a padlock on the door. There's no restaurant. There's no restaurant. There's no restaurant here anymore, anymore, anymore. There's no restaurant. There's no restaurant. There's no restaurant. There's no restaurant.
When I was watching your performance, I noticed you use a lot of unique looking instruments. Can you tell us a little bit about those unique instruments that you used?
Yeah. So when I started, when I made my the beginning of my performing life, I basically played acoustic guitar and sang, and wrote songs. But when I started making, making jewelry and making things of metal, I started making things using my old guitar strings. And the first, my first group was called the Tree People. That was based in Eugene. My main partner in the Tree People, one of the things he did was he was percussionist. He played percussion. When he left the group, I decided to make my own percussion. So my first instrument was all percussion. I made a percussion instrument that had bells and all kinds of stuff that I hung from a rack, and I could get to it while I was playing guitar. And then years later, maybe about 5 years ago or something like that, or maybe a little longer ago. No, I decided I wanted to try I got this idea in my head. I wanted to try a 3-string instrument. So I asked around and looked around, and then I realized the instrument I wanted to try was a cigar box guitar. And I had a relative that was in Austin that was actually making those with a partner. So I had them custom make me one. Then I made my own, and then I played at all kinds of, there's a whole resurgence of cigar box guitar. Are you familiar with cigar box guitar?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been a resurgence all over the world, and there's cigar box guitar festivals. So I played at some of the big cigar box guitar festival, one in Pennsylvania, one in Alabama. Then I decided I wanted I've had some like small guitars that I used to travel with and stuff. So I decided I wanted a really small guitar. So that the guitar I play on BLUEBIRD is a miniature guitar. It's a one of a kind. I decided I wanted a foot long and a half a foot wide. And I asked a Portland guitar maker, his name is Jay Dickinson, and I asked him if he could make one for me, and he did, And so I really like that for a couple of reasons. One, because it's unique, it has a unique sound, and also because I can bring it anywhere. I don't have to worry about, I can put it in a backpack, or almost, I could carry it almost anywhere,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I noticed that miniature guitar had a really unique sound to it. I was actually surprised how much sound was coming out of it, considering the size.
Yeah, well, since it has it's built like a guitar, so it has an inside, so the sound resonates from inside. Mm-hmm. When I did that recording, if I'm performing at a big festival or concert or something, it's got a pickup, I can plug it in. But recording at home, that's just that guitar. It's got a big enough sound, I didn't even have to plug it in.
Mm-hmm.
Players run the hardwood floor as quick as they can. 10,000 voices, noises. The band, cheerleaders leap, show a silly smile to the faithful fans who sideline like a caged beast. Sweat is falling, he is calling. He cannot stand defeat. Outside the chicken Jacob looks into the rain. We've got to win this game. Let's all fold up. Team, it's the only team we like. Fight, home, team, fight. Let's all fold up. Team, we've got to win this game. We can't afford another season down the drain. The street is full of people who are shaking their heads. The locker room is quiet like a knife. I guess you know the news. The home team's not supposed to lose. So we fold up. Team, it's the only team we see. Victory, home, team victory. Let's all fold up. Team, we've got to win this game. We can't afford another season down the drain. Go, fight, defense. We're number one. Let's all live for the home team.
Do you want to talk briefly about that art background?
Yeah, so I grew up in Rhode Island, and my parents, they weren't artists, but they really appreciated art. So they were members of the, we lived near the Rhode Island School of Design. They were members of the museum there. And when I first went to school, I went to Brandeis University in Massachusetts for 3 years. And I tried different majors, and I kept dropping majors. I would find something I didn't like about a certain major, so I'd go on to the next one. It's funny, I never did study music or creating art there. I think because instinctively I just wanted to figure that out by myself, you know. But I did. My favorite classes there were taking art, studying art, you know, looking at the Impressionists and artists from all over the world. And there was a great art museum in Boston, nearby, the Boston Museum of Art, where you could go see the stuff. Then when I went back, then years later, when I went back to school at University of Oregon, then I started actually creating art. That was helpful too, because that was helpful for a lot of reasons. Because for me, the visual and and the sound go together, you know. So I like to have a visual element in the instruments and in what's happening.
Bluebird, little bluebird, bluebird, little bluebird. We can fly, can fly, we can fly, you and I. We can fly, you and I, into the bright blue sky. Bluebird, little bluebird, bluebird, little bluebird. We can fly, we can fly, we can fly, you and I. We can fly, you and I. Into the bright blue sky.
What are some of your biggest and most standout inspirations in terms of music and performance?
It's a mix of things I heard when I was really young that I really liked. I used to go to the Newport Jazz and Folk Festivals and was inspired by a lot of musicians there. I was inspired by a lot of rock and pop music and also classical music as when I was young. And but there's no one thing, but I always say it's whatever I heard last. If I like something, then you know, whatever the last good thing I heard is my biggest influence. Now, also nature is a big influence. A lot of my work has themes and sounds of nature in it. So just the outside world is a big influence.
I am a red-tailed hawk nesting in your tree. I am a red-tailed hawk nesting in your tree. That's me. In your tree. I am a bobcat prowling in your woods. I am a bobcat prowling in your woods. I'm all that. In your woods. I am along that good splashing in your palm. I am a long-necked goose splashing in your pond. This goose is loose in your pond. I am a big bear sleeping in your cave. I am a big bear sleeping in your cave. I'm here in your cave.
Do you have a standout experience or story from your music and performance career?
Oh boy, I've had a lot of good stuff happen. I think the standout thing I can think of is when I got to go to some other countries. I was invited to play in other countries, and just to do that, when I had when that album, my first album was reissued, it was reissued by a company in Spain. And so the guy that owned the company puts on a festival. And so he invited me, and I brought one other musician with me, who was on the last Tree People album. His name is Rich Heinrichsen. And he plays double bass. But anyways, the thing in Spain was just to be in another country and interact with other people. And when we played, we found two Spanish musicians that sat in with us. One played a variety of instruments, and the other one played cello. And just being able to do the universal, act of music. Or when we actually did the concert, I don't know how many people spoke English. A lot do. I don't know when you travel abroad, you find a lot of people do, but it didn't really matter. The people that didn't speak English still, we still were able to communicate with them.
Mm-hmm.
Even the guy that did sound couldn't, just spoke Spanish, but we were still able to communicate with him. So it was that just going to another place and playing music, I think really opened me up to the whole world community.
I'm the king. I'm the king. I'm the king of one string. I can make this one string thing sing. Call it pop, call it blues, one string. I'm the king. I'm the king. I'm the king of the one string thing.
What, in your opinion, is the most important instrument or important aspect of your work? Is there one that you kind of think about with the most adoration or reverence?
Well, I always come back to the acoustic guitar because that's where it started. And because the other instruments are good for certain pieces, but the acoustic guitar is, I feel you can create really an orchestra with it. You can just do so much with acoustic guitar. You can create a whole soundscape. And so acoustic, if I had to play one instrument, that would be it. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time and for being on the show.
Oh yeah, I'm happy to do it. I actually, years and years ago when I lived in Eugene, I came up to KBVR and did a radio interview. And this is way back. It won't be in any archives, because this is before anybody was archiving anything, probably, you know.
Listen, in the distance, a train. This old train is rolling down the line. This old train is going through space and time. Ride the train. Yeah, train coming, come around the track. Yeah, train coming through the forest and the mountains and the desert and back. Ride the train. When the circus train comes into